Okay, so we are going to start with the vertical line in the center of your paper. It should be about 8 inches, and we're going to mark every inch. So 0 all the way down to 8. You can see here I'm just kind of guesstimating, but you guys should have a ruler. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be our eye line. 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay. At the 4-inch line, we are then going to draw a horizontal line. Now, here's the thing. This horizontal line is going to be 5 inches long. Okay. But it needs to be centered on that 8-inch. So you're going to have 2.5 inches on one side and 2.5 inches on the other. And again, here I'm just guesstimating, but you should be able to get yours a little bit more exact since you'll be using a ruler. So you'll notice 0, 1, 2, a 1/2 inch, that center line, another 1/2 inch for 3, and then 4, 5. Again, 1/2 inch here at 2, 1/2 inch here to 3, in between that center line. Okay, but we're going to number from 0 to 5 from left to right. This helps to make sure that our eyes are actually centered on our head. So from here, what we're going to do is go ahead and start drawing kind of the overall shape of the head. Generally speaking, the head is almost like an upside down egg shape. It's going to be a little bit flatter and rounder on top and a little bit more pointed on the bottom. Again, everyone is different, so these are kind of generalities. I find it easier to go from the 0 to the 0, and then from 0 to 5 like this, and then come down to the 8 from each side. You don't want a super pointy chin, but you also don't want it to be super flat. Again, notice it's a little bit rounder on top than it is on the bottom, and that gives us a clear chin as well as enough head and forehead room to add our hair and other features. From here, we're going to go ahead and start placing our features. Now, we are not adding details, but we do need to at least know where these features are going to be placed. So we're going to add the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Then we're going to come back up and add in eyebrows. Then we're going to add in the ears, or at least where they're going to be placed, the hairline, and then last but not least, the neck and shoulders. So let's start with the eye. I'm going to draw in another color here, help make it a little easier to see some of the differences, hopefully. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make it a little easier to see, and we're going to put an oval between the 1 and the 2, and then between the 3 and the 4. These are going to be our eyes. So just kind of a generalized oval shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. Football-ish shape, whatever. And that's our eyes. Again, not putting detail, not putting value, just putting these things in place. The next is going to be the nose, and we're actually going to mark the ball of the nose right here underneath the 5-inch line by just drawing in a circle. After that, we're going to add in the mouth. Make sure that your nose is not too small. It should be just under an eye length, so just under the 2 to 3 inch mark. For the mouth, we're going to come in and go just underneath the 6-inch mark. You've probably drawn like those little M birds before. Like when you were in 3rd grade, maybe you probably learned that you could draw these M shapes and it would look like birds flying in the distance. Okay. We're going to use a very similar shape to that. Okay. Not an M like the letter M, but something kind of elongated and pulled out. Okay. And again, this is just showing the placement. So the letter M makes me sad, don't do that. The elongated, kind of stretched out M makes Miss Stokes happy. Let's use that one. Again, coming down here to just underneath the 6-inch mark, maybe even right at that 1/2 inch. We're gonna draw a little V. And then these dotted lines help to show us where the corner of the mouth is. The corner of the mouth should line up with your eye, with the center of your eye specifically. So we're going to draw in our mouth there, check it off our list. Next are eyebrows. And eyebrows are really easy. Despite having so many different shapes, generally speaking, your eyebrow is going to be at about that 3 mark, and it's going to at least be from the inside corner of the eye to the outside corner of the eye. So we're just going to put an arch there. Again, just a simple placeholder to show us where the eyebrows will be. Check that off our list and move on to the ears. The ears are a little bit more complicated and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but just trust the process, okay? Your ears actually connect right on level with your eye. The top curve usually matches up with the eyebrow, and the bottom of your lobe actually matches up with nose to mouth. There's 2 different lobe types. The first is attached. The second is detached. Detached means it has this little loop like you see here versus going straight into the head like you see in the top example. Either one's fine, doesn't really matter. So again, we're going to start at the eye, come up to the eyebrow, and then drop down to about the mouth. Big C shape. You can kind of block it in if that helps. Sometimes that'll help if you're struggling to get it even on both sides. But just a big C shape like that, and then you'll go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Again, no details, no shading. We'll do that later. Right now, we're just placing everything where it needs to be. So again, just kind of blocking it out to make it a little easier to get these things even, or as even as possible. And that one still didn't quite work out right. Let's try that again. Better-ish. One more time. Nope, that's not it either. Again, it's very difficult to get it perfectly even on each side. Sometimes you just have to roll with it not being even. It'll be fine for now. We're just placing these features where they need to be. So now that we can mark the ears off, we're going to go ahead and take a look at hairline, neck, and shoulders. Hairlines are, again, something that's very unique to every person. Some people have like a square hairline. Some people have more of a rounded hairline. Some people have this kind of M shape for a widow's peak. Really up to you, however you want to do your hairline. I'm not particularly picky. But it should start at about the same place that the ears start. That's actually where your sideburns would be. It's going to come up to just underneath the 1 mark, so between the 1 and 2. And then it's going to come back down to the other side where the ears are. So I did mine with just a little tiny widow's peak. You can do yours with whatever kind of hairline you want. If it's receding, obviously it'll be up higher. Most people won't have it lower. From here, we're going to draw the neck and shoulders. Now, again, you're going to think I'm crazy, but your neck actually is going to start at your ear, and your shoulders are each going to be from the side of the neck to the end of the shoulder, another 5 inches. It should be about the same width as the head. Okay. So male versus female, there's some slight differences. Typically speaking, the female has a lot softer curve. The males tend to have a lot straighter neck. Looks a little thicker, a little bulkier. Again, doesn't really matter which way you want to go. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. So we're going to start at the ear. And our neck usually ends just underneath our chin. So that's where we'll start curving for our shoulder. You can see that there. And then again, our shoulder will actually be a similar width as our head. Because if it's too small, then it's like, how is your head supporting that? There's nothing there to support your head. So you want to make sure that it's about even. If you have a 5-inch head, 5-inch wide head, your shoulders should be about 5 inches as well. So don't be afraid to give yourself some actual shoulders. Okay? Or whoever you're drawing some actual shoulders, whatever. So on my paper, I don't have quite enough room to show the ends of the shoulders, so I'll just go off the paper, no problem. And then, it's a little cold out, so we'll give them a shirt. And there we go. At that point, you pretty much have all of the details, so you can check everything off. And we'll go back and I'll show you guys how to actually turn this into a finished drawing. From this to, a person, essentially. You guys will have to do your own kind of example of this. But the biggest thing is that the eyes need to be at the halfway mark. As long as your eyes are at the halfway mark, everything else can kind of fall into place. So make sure you're doing that.